Okay. Hello, I am the many-talented Mr. Jefferson here with a second Williams Pack 8 review and guide, this time for Banzai Run. While I was growing up and the NES dominated the home video game market, one of the coolest looking games was Excite Bike, but it was also one of the games I was complete shit at. I never learned how to control the bike, so I would rarely ever bother playing the game, preferring to play some of the other games I had, like Wrath of the Black Manta and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I must have been eating glue that year or something. The thing about Excite Bike was it was still extremely cool. Even if I never managed to figure out how to land, I always wanted to hit a really big jump at least before I crashed. And that's probably why MotoCross was so big in the 80s, because you could watch crazy people launch themselves into the air on motorized rockets, and we didn't have the internet back then. The reason I call them crazy people is because dirt bikes can be crazy dangerous, and when I went to go look up dirt bike on YouTube, the very next word in autofill was fail. And there are, of course, tons of videos where you can watch hours of people eating shit after a bike comes out from under them. Some years ago, while following a musical rabbit hole on YouTube, I stumbled across what is still one of my favorite music videos of all time. It's a remix of a song called Disorganized Fun by Ronald Jinkies, featuring cosplayers getting some crazy air on their speeder bikes. It's simply called Star Wars Motocross, and the link will be in the description below because it's such an awesome frickin' jam. And it's really cool watching stormtroopers get air. Any good table theme replicates its theme in the gameplay. Earthshaker shakes. Black Knight 2000 feels like a fight. And Banzai Run makes you feel like you're about to eat dirt at any given moment. There is no such thing as a safe shot on Banzai Run. Even hitting your targets can result in bailing. Banzai Run has a wide open playfield with 4 colored targets. Lighting all 3 of the same colored target allows you to challenge one of the other drivers on the vertical table accessed behind the spinner at the top of the table, where you will have to deal with a whole new set of physics at play. Vertical pinball is rough, but the game is at least forgiving enough to give you a temporary peg to block the drain so you have some chance at winning. Those midfield targets are super dangerous if you shoot at them directly, but there are some far better options for getting those lights lit so you can challenge your opponents, so you can get to the backboard for some sick-ass hill jumps, and finally a chance to challenge the champion, the king of the hill. So let's look at the table and figure out how to keep your bike under you as you navigate this challenging table. First, we'll look at the lower playfield, which is weirdly brutal for being such an open, wide field. There are a large number of potential targets on the field, and right now I will point out every dangerous shot on the table. Yeah, there really isn't such thing as a safe shot here. It's easy to drain coming from the rollovers over the upper flipper, or when the saucer ejects the ball into the bumpers at a perfect angle to slam dunk it straight down the drain, or the many ways you can hit those out lanes, and the slingshots aren't really here to do you any favors either. It may sound like that's it, time to give up, but you only really need to learn 2 shots on this table, and they are both relatively safe if your aim is good. The main goal of the table is to challenge all 4 challengers, which are represented by the colored targets. There's the green ranger up top, the yellow ranger top middle, the blue and red rangers are on the left side of the field across from the upper flipper. Shooting directly for these targets is really dangerous because the ball will have a ton of momentum when it ricochets back, and that's never a good thing. However, those 2 shots I mentioned will do everything you actually need to do to challenge the champion, who I'm assuming is Zach, the Black Ranger, is the only one left. The ramp on the right will run a lap around the table and light a semi-random competitor light. It seems to pick whichever competitor you are closest to challenging, which is absolutely fantastic because it means you can start shooting at the other relatively safe target on the table, which is the hill ball capture on the top left of the table. This ball capture has 2 functions. If no riders are lit, it will eject the ball into the rollovers where you can attempt to challenge Green Machine, and there is a chance for the ball to rebound into the saucer, which will also award a light the same way that the lap ramp does. Below the green lights are the yellow targets, which I largely ignore because I usually hit all of them on a rebound by accident anyway, and they are some of the most dangerous targets on the field. Up top, the ball might roll out over the upper flipper, and you always want to take a swing at the ball anytime it winds up here. It's honestly a lot less dangerous than letting the ball roll straight down, where there is a good chance that it's going to go straight down the drain. But across from the upper flipper are the Bluebeard and Red Hot targets. And there's a captured ball you would do very well to avoid, and you can also hit the hill from this flipper, surprisingly enough. Hitting those side targets will usually result in hitting a yellow target as well, and it is a lot safer than the same shots performed from the bottom flippers because of the angle, and the ball will not have nearly as much momentum as it would if you used a bottom flipper shot, and the ball might return to the upper flipper for another chance to light yet another target. The safest and most effective way to light the targets is by shooting the lap ramp, because of its very reliable ball return cannon thing, which I will discuss a little bit later. There are 2 sucker shots on the table. That captive ball lock looks harmless enough, but if you hit it hard enough with the ball will just kind of hover there in front of the captive ball target, which will then slam back like the fist of God to slam dunk your ball straight down the drain. But that isn't the MVP of center drain returns. That honor goes to the right one-lap target, which will boomerang the ball straight down the drain so fast you won't even realize it has happened. It's just game over immediately. There is a left lap target, but I largely do not aim for it. If I ever do hit it, I hit it on accident, and I actually hit it on accident plenty of times while I'm just trying to keep the ball in play. Up top, there on the vertical table, there are several targets to aim for, starting with the A, B, and C triggers, which I never try to hit intentionally for reasons I will go into later when I discuss the ball return cannon thingy. There are also loops for Yellow Belly, which actually has a trigger on the very top of the loop that you need to hit. You don't actually need to hit the loop at all. The Green Machine target is in the middle up top, and the Bluebeard loop is off to the right, and I believe you are required to actually hit this loop and not just some weird top trigger like with Yellow Belly. There is a lane to move up the board to a ball lock, which will activate once you have beaten all 4 riders. And the trigger to beat Red Hot is hitting the hill jump up top. To beat the King of the Hill, you will have to hit a captive ball sitting right above a drain, and it's a highly frustrating shot, but before you can even attempt that shot, you will need to go to the backboard after moving into second place and activate that ball lock. This will start a 2-ball multi-ball, which requires you to lock one ball in the saucer on the lower plane between the bumpers, and then send the other ball back up to the hill, where you need to make the same ball lock jump, and if you manage to miss it, you can try again by locking the balls on the lower playfield again and going back up to the hill. There is a timer on the lower playfield ball lock, so you will have to relock the ball again if you take too long to go up to the hill, and if you drain one of your balls, you can still shoot the ball lock one more time to restart multi-ball once. Sadly, hitting the skill shot from the plunger does not let you skip the ball lock stage of King of the Hill. I really wish it did though. So that's how you become King of the Hill, but how are you going to get that far on such a dangerous table? Well, I kept my eyes open and noticed that this table is basically the anti-flow table. You can take combo shots and throw them out the fucking window on this table. There is one orbit shot on this table and it blasts the ball out the other end like a frickin' cannon, and that's actually the trick to the table right there, combined with flipper control. So you will probably have noticed in the background footage already, unless I get really devious with my editing, the cannon at the end of the lap loop will shoot the ball directly at the right flipper at kind of an awkward angle, but it's super easy to catch. But what if you just hold the flipper up instead? That's when things get cool, because the ball will very naturally follow the contours of the flipper and in-lane, sending the ball into a nice gentle forward loop, giving you some of the most extreme ball control I have ever seen on a table. If you can correctly judge the speed of the ball, which is variable, which means if the ball is going slow, you can ramp it so it hits the in-lane rollover of the right flipper, which will activate the spinner bonus and set the ball up for a shot on that spinner. But if you don't like shooting at that spinner at speed, you can also bounce the table while the ball is rolling back down the in-lane and kill its momentum. And if you still don't like that speed, you should be able to catch and cradle to slow it down even further after a nudge. If the ball is traveling at medium speed out of the cannon, you'll probably want to trap it, which means hitting the flipper just as the ball is about to hit the upper portion of the flipper, which will kind of bounce it into the bottom of the slingshot and completely kill its momentum and leave it sitting on the flipper. And the reason you want to do that is a mid-speed ball will loop right into the drain if you try that maneuver. If the ball is going fast enough, however, the loop will complete all the way over to the left flipper, where you can catch and cradle it and set up for another lap very easily. But you will also want to be careful, because if the ball launches out of the cannon a little bit too fast, that same exact flipper loop will overshoot the flipper, which means it can land in the handlebar ball launcher, where it will very likely hit that captive ball target, which can act like a wrathful god. Or it might land in the left in lane if you're very lucky, but it's most likely going to bounce off the posts of those two parts of the handlebar and then land in the left out lane, which is equipped with a kickback and will usually hit the center ball lock saucer, which will often reward a kickback, so the kickback can self-relight, which is really nice on such a dangerous table. So ideally, you will want to shoot lap loops and send the ball back into a flipper loop back to the left flipper, and then repeat the process and light as many riders as possible, with the laps also stacking end of play rewards, making this the most desirable way to light up your challengers. Your shooting strategy then depends on what speed the ball comes out of the cannon, which will determine which flipper the ball will land on, and if you just happen to land on the right flipper instead of the left, you would instead shoot for the hill for a number of reasons. First, if no riders are lit, the hill will kick the ball back over to the green rollovers and over near the ball lock saucer, both of which can start a challenger for you. Once you have a challenge, you can then access the upper playfield using the hill, where you will actually want to avoid hitting any of the triggers, which is why I never ever aim for A, B, or C, because I might accidentally complete the challenge, and then that will lock me out of the upper playfield until I light another challenge rider. But if you exit using the hill jump, you will start stacking hill jump awards, which start off at 50k and will build up and top out at 200,000 points, with a maximum of 400,000 if you do manage to light up A, B, and C to double the rewards. But again, doing so will risk locking you out of the upper playfield, so it's best to keep making these very easy hill jumps for way more points than you would get from the end of play bonus for beating riders. It is only when I have challenged all of the riders that I will start trying to defeat them, so I can challenge the king of the hill. That way I will always have access to the upper playfield, plus the hill will not send the ball to the far more dangerous bumper area while that upper playfield is active. Figuring out what appears to be a very, very intentional flipper design choice with the cannon flipper loop combo changed how I played at this table, and my games improved significantly after I started doing this. This is such a bastard of a table, but now I just love doing the flipper loops, and again, this technique feels like I have unparalleled ball control on this table like I've never felt on any other table I've played, and it just really looks freaking radical when you do it, man. The last couple of things I need to mention on this table are the extra balls and the freestyle. The extra balls are collected at the very moody trap ball target. I already told you that shooting the lap ramp is good, but at around 8 laps, it will light an extra ball. The number of laps varies weirdly enough. You can also trigger the extra ball target by hitting A, B, and C while going to the top during multi-ball. So there's actually a good reason to do that after all. Freestyle becomes available when you relight all of the rider's targets a second time, and I never ever even try to get the freestyle because the rider targets on the backboard are easy enough to hit already. It's dangerous to try to relight the targets again, and freestyle is actually just pachinko, not pinball. And pachinko chugs balls. It sucks, and you rarely ever actually benefit from the freestyle course, so if you wind up racking up freestyle while shooting at the left ramp trying to get the ball to cycle back around to the right flipper so that you can go back up the hill, congratulations. It's basically useless, so don't go out of your way to try to activate it. I only thought this was a brutal table until I saw Continuum having the exact same issues I was having. And I respect the hell out of him as a player, so it was a relief when I watched his video and saw him just as frustrated as I had been. Friend of the channel, Nuclear Black, managed to make it into that video with his launch event score showing up in the background footage, and I'm going to play a couple of brief clips from Continuum's video and then put the link in the description below so you can go over there and actually see what he has to say about this table. I'm going to put up some clips from my live stream as well when I first tried the table, because my first impressions of Banzai Run were a lot different from what I think about it now. I weirdly love this table. The Black Knight 2000 is all about flow, and Banzai Run is all about control. Weirdly enough, I understand these two balls hard tables way more than I do Earthshaker, which gives me a lot more problems, mostly due to the layout, which is perfectly fine, but it just seems to clash with my natural play rhythm. Unlike Black Knight 2000, which has been just pure joy for me to play, but Earthshaker is the last table in the pack that I haven't reviewed, so maybe I'll figure that one out real soon as well. I did get the table award on the first day, so there is that. It does not seem to be a particularly complex table. I want to thank my subscribers, my channel members, and all of you who have sponsored my channel. I'm going to cut to the Crow clips now, and then my own live clips, and then I'll end this video with my table award game. Yes, I did get it. Thank you for watching, and I'm guessing I'm going to wind up finishing out these Williams Pack 8 reviews and guides before I even drop the first video in the Williams Pack 1, but honestly, I feel like people are going to benefit a lot more from learning how to play Black Knight 2000 and Banzai Run than Medieval Madness, which is a much, much safer table to play than either of these, or Earthshaker. The outlines on that table are a son of a bitch. Until I see you next time, doodles.
Oh, and there's no ball save on this, by the way. Did you want to play? He's saying that you could do better than me? I'm gonna have to give it up. Not my best score, but it's the game I'm gonna put in the video. Mainly because I know I swore way too much when I played this one.
Banzai Run is a motherfucker of a table. Oh, fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck! God understand. Oh, fuck. Oh, new high score. I'm playing like shit. New high score. Love it.
Anyway, let's see the... Like, so close every single time, just not able to hit that final flip to get it. And that's very frustrating. Pinball Wiz with 3.8 million, just ahead of me, 2.6. Shut Your Trap. Here's Jared. This is a very frustrating Duck of Death. A Robo in the Zone. He's barely touched this table, I could tell, because he was number 1 on Earthshaker.
All right. This is the pack of the brutally unfair tables. Straight up. Oh my god. What is this table? Yeah, and I can see why vertical pinball never took off. I do not like the physics up there at all. So, first and foremost, I need to learn how to relight that because Outlane Central, I don't know what just happened. My handlebar caught the ball and then just like shot it back out. Ah, there's no pin on this one. That's Earthshaker. It's brutal. It's freaking brutal, but it doesn't mean it's not fun. All right, let's get this out of the way. This is Drain City. Of the three, I think this is my least favorite. And that's why, right there. Straight down the center. Good lord. Yeah, so I am terrible at this particular machine right now. That is going to take a lot of practice. I just hit it. Alright, so I hit this yellow thing to challenge yellow guy then, I guess? Dude, I sucked at Excite Bike too. Fuck off! Alright, this table is a bitch. I kind of understand Earthshaker. I understand Black Knight 2000, and I will defeat that table. I don't know what counts as defeating that table, but whatever it is, it's gonna happen. It's a pain in the ass, but I like it. I beat the Quiet Man, I can beat the Black Knight. The Quiet Man is made out of frustration and sadness. Oh, I think this game's got all the leftovers, though. Wow, this table. Alright, alright, alright. I'm going to ride this out no matter what happens, and then I'll be back in a little bit with Dragon Quest. We're getting really close to the end of the game. I probably should look some shit up before I play, because I want to find the armor, and I don't want to spend forever doing it. I want to fix the hero's sword, and then I want to beat the game. Yellow. Okay, so in unequal measure. You know what, Stuff, you should have left it. That is actually like a perfect sentence for the Quiet Man. Like, if I lied, by the way. Nah. Alright, alright. I need to just not. Stop with the resets. Ugh. Well, that was interesting.
He's going after Yellow Belly.
No, he's not. That's a drain. And there it goes. Okay. Yeah, this is just... Oof. Ooh, this is such a brutal table. Alright, Earthshaker, pretty freaking cool. I'm sure I might have... Well, I got the table award. I'm not sure how much more I have to see on that table. It's a decently fun table to play. It's nowhere near as brutally unfair as Banzai Run. You know, I got it. I gotta do it again. By far my favorite table out of the bunch. I was worried I wouldn't like this table. But, yeah. I'm 10 years old again. Crying in a corner because I can beat M. Bison on 1 quarter, but I can't beat this fucking game. Defeat all riders, and okay, yeah, that's just not gonna happen.
Welcome, race fans, to Banzai Run. He's going after Green Machine. He's going after Bluebeard. He's going after Yellow Belly. one's the king. Go for the hill. Go for instant rematch. Instant rematch. Go for the hill. Go for the hill. He's going after the king. Go for the hill. Go for the hill. He's going after the king.
Well, that was lacking. I'm not trying to post pass, I'm trying straight up. And I fucked. Fucked it up. I fucked. New high score ahead. That doesn't make me feel good at all. You're playing terrible! Congratulations! Ah!